Okay, so now we're going to go and spray the window. So with this window, we need to work out how many angles has it got. And it's obviously got a lot. It's got 4 sides to this. So with this, you're hitting this from all different angles. So the speed is going to have to be a bit different. You're going to have to move a bit faster. So if I went straight up like that, and then across, and then down, and then across the bottom, every corner would have too much paint on it. So you really do have to try and merge them together. So what I actually do is I always start off the surface. Always when I'm spraying, I start off the surface. So I would start down here, pull the trigger, up, over, mitre. Like mitre the end like that. So I'm feathering the end in, so it's not just a straight cut across. So up, over, off. Then I'm gonna go down, under, off. And every time I spray, I'm always letting on and off the trigger. Same as I do on walls, but not ceilings. So ceilings, I've got my trigger on all the time. Walls, I'm triggering on and off. And then woodwork, I'm also triggering on and off. So I would go trigger on, mitre off, trigger on, off. Because so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do as much in one pass as I can without letting go of the trigger, because I don't want to create too many edges. Okay, so when I do the inside then, I would have to bring the gun right over here. If I stood here, then I'm not going to get the inside edge. So I need to be right over here. I'm going to go up, over, off. So I've let go of the trigger now. I go down, under, off. Okay, so now I've got that window sprayed, as you can just see. And again, I've not put too much paint on there because I'm giving this 2 coats also, but the first coat, I want it to be a little bit patchy because I want it to dry quicker so that I can sand it that day, so dealing in between the coats and get my second coat on. The second coat, I might try and get a bit better coverage, but for your first coat, I call it fog coating. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna spray all our edges. So if I hold the gun like this to the side, or like this to the side, then I'm gonna miss 99% of that with the gun because the fan comes out like this, okay? So it comes out at that angle, so that would only just touch the edge of that fan on the edge of that frame. So what I need to do is I need to turn the gun at a 45-degree angle and go straight at my sides. As you can see, if I put a line, say there, and I try and spray that, all the paint's here and not over where the edge is. So by turning the fan slightly sideways, I'm gonna get a better coverage going up the edges. Now I was gonna show you exactly how I do that in the next clip. Okay, so you can see now I've done the edges, I've done the top and the bottoms, and also you can see how much more paint has now gone onto that window. So that's what I'm saying about moving faster on things like this, because you're hitting it from so many different angles. If you try and put too much paint on that first front, then you're going to be getting it from that way, and so on. So you're going to overload that window. So when you spray things like this, you do really need to move quite quickly. And on the second coat, I would say you can slow it down a tad, but by a very small amount.